So here's a video from Colorado, Loveland, Colorado, showing a police officer engaging in a supposed self-defense use of force against what is termed by the owner to be a puppy who is running towards the police officer. So as a dog lover, this one really gets to me. But there's always three sides to every story, right? So take a look at this footage, and I'm really curious to see what you think about it. All right, what you're looking at here doesn't have any audio on it because the body cam had just been turned on, and there's a lag until the audio shows up. But here is the incident that took place right here. Here comes the dog. So here are the facts of this case. June 29th, 2019, this husband and wife pulled into a vacant parking lot of a commercial building to rest and make repairs to an ice box on their truck. They had three dogs with them: Bubba, a 16-year-old Rhodesian Ridgeback; Max, a Black Lab mix; and Herkimer, a 14-month-old Staffordshire Terrier/Boxer mix. That's what we're talking about here today. Unbeknownst to the plaintiffs, the business owner saw them remotely through video surveillance and called the Loveland Police Department concerning what he alleged was apparent trespass to the property. Officer Grasshorn arrived at the scene to investigate and exited his vehicle. As he did so, Bubba, again the 14-month-old dog, who was lying on the ground near the plaintiff's truck, rose and began a friendly gallop towards Officer Grasshorn to greet him. Now, this is coming from the subsequent federal civil rights lawsuit that was filed. That's what I'm reading from. Officer Grasshorn immediately drew his firearm and aimed it at Bubba, yelling at plaintiffs to get control of Bubba. Plaintiffs did so, but the commotion piqued Herkimer's interest, and Herkimer exited the back of the truck. Plaintiffs allege in their lawsuit that Herkimer, quote, pranced towards Bubba and Officer Grasshorn. Herkimer's tail was wagging, and he appeared curious and friendly, showing no signs of aggression. Plaintiffs were calling out for the dogs to return and alleged that Herkimer began to return, but Officer Grasshorn fired at Herkimer twice, shooting him in the face and body. Herkimer ultimately died of his injuries. Plaintiffs allege that even if Officer Grasshorn was afraid of Herkimer, he could have returned to his vehicle, used a taser, baton, or pepper spray, or shot near Herkimer to scare him. Officer Grasshorn initially refused to allow plaintiffs to attend to Herkimer. The supervisor arrived to the scene shortly afterwards. Now, plaintiffs allege that the sergeant told Officer Grasshorn, quote, since this man's saying he's going to the press, we better scratch him a ticket for something. And he directed Officer Grasshorn to cite Mr. Ham for having a dangerous dog. Now, later, Sergeant Metzler, the supervisor, told veterinary personnel that Herkimer was a vicious dog that should be euthanized. So the plaintiffs allege in their civil lawsuit that this affected the care that Herkimer received. Sadly, Herkimer lived another 4 days before he was ultimately euthanized. So based on these allegations, several claims were made, including a First Amendment retaliation claim for citing them because they said they were going to the press. So take a look at the rest of the footage, and then we'll discuss the legal issue that I get asked quite often, which is, well, is there a civil lawsuit? Is there a civil rights violation for this sort of situation?
Get back to the truck!
He just made my baby!
Why did you have to shoot him?
He's fine, he's a puppy!
Get to your truck! I didn't know that!
He's a puppy! Can I see him?
Get to the
please?
truck!
Please let me see him! Please, oh my God, let me see him!
I can't believe you fucking shot him!
Get in the truck!
Oh my God, please let me see him! He's
Ma'am,
dying.
just get back to your truck.
If he's dying, let me see him. He's dying.
Okay, okay.
Oh my God, can I call a vet?
Ma'am, ma'am, get away! He will bite you. He's hurt. He will bite you. He's hurt.
God, you killed him!
He will bite you. He's hurt.
Jay!
Sir, tell her to get away. He will bite her. He's hurt. Maybe you ought to have your dogs in your truck then. Is this your property?
He was in the truck. He jumped out. I'm sorry.
Can I
That's why I'm here, because you're trespassing.
Can we take him to a vet, please? Can we take him to a vet?
Ma'am,
Please,
you're not going to be able to help him.
please let me take him to a vet.
You're not going to be able to help
Please,
him.
sir.
Can we?
You're not going to be able to help him. I need you to stay there.
I need you to just, you can't believe
Let
you
him
just
sit
did
there and
this.
die.
You have no
There's a
idea
vet
what this
right
dog
here.
means.
Our vet is right there on the corner.
Sir, I don't need you cussing and yelling at me no more. Why don't you get your other dogs managed?
Listen, he's okay. He's gonna be okay. I want to take him to a vet, please.
Where did you hit him?
In the head and in the chest, in the side. Let me,
If he's still alive, let us take him to the vet.
please, let me take him. He's okay. He's gonna be
Just
okay.
stay there.
He's gonna be okay.
Wait for me to get some more help and we'll help you,
He's
okay?
gonna be okay. Please let me take him. Perky, it's okay, baby. God, I can't believe you fucking. Why did you do that?
I don't know, because he's running after me like he's going to bite
He's a
me?
puppy.
He
I
wasn't
don't know that.
He's a puppy.
Do I know that? Do I know that?
Oh my God.
You should have shocked him.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for telling me how to do my job. Just stay there.
Perky, oh my God. Perky, no. Oh my God. Oh my God. Please let me take him to a vet, sir. We're not
Yeah,
doing anything
just stay there.
Please.
Stay there.
Can I call my friend Daniel Killian? He's a cop in Longmont. He lives in Loveland. I'd like to talk to him, please.
He's not.
I'm going to. Honey, please help me with him.
I can't.
Please, you can't do this.
Stay there.
It's not
We
happening.
got a
Oh
vet
my
that's
God.
right there, officer, please.
Please, he's a baby. He's just
Stay right there.
I'm not illegal.
Please let me take him to a
I
vet.
stopped and this dog. Two dogs came after me. Once went away and this one kept coming, so I shot him.
Please, it's just a
They want to go to the
puppy.
vet.
Oh,
I need to deal with these guys for the whole trespass thing still.
Come on. Please let me take him to a vet.
Please let us take him.
Why are you here?
Because we're selling. Come here. I'm selling this wood, right? And they needed the place needed a place for it to be locked up. And one of my other customers gave me this ice machine out of Berthoud, and then so we were going to spray paint it up and then take it over there and put the wood in it for them.
Okay, the
Why
people
did
that
you shoot
listen.
him?
We've already went over that, have we not?
Yes.
Do I know your dog's friendly? When I say no, one dog stops, one keeps coming. That's what's going to happen, man.
I know, but
I'm not in the business to get bit.
I know. I wanted you to shock them, if anything.
That doesn't work like that.
Man, that's a bummer.
It is a terrible bummer. But the reason I'm here is the business owners watch you on camera and thought you were loading stuff up.
Oh, okay, no.
So that's the reason I'm
No,
here.
We stopped to spray paint this really fast.
But it doesn't make sense for you to come in somebody's private property business and start.
We actually
Wrecking,
thought it
open up
was.
shop.
At first, I thought it was abandoned because of the front of it. God, she's gonna fucking kill me.
You got your driver's license.
Yes, we got a vet right there on the corner.
My
is our
sergeant's
vet.
coming. If he wants to let you take it to the vet, you can.
What do you mean?
Yeah. I don't want to shoot nobody's dog. It's the first time I shot anybody's dog in 14 years.
You mean you shot one before?
No, I've never done it in 14 years, but I got no time to wait to see if he's going to bite me or not, right?
I know. Man, this sucks.
All right, so this is sort of like an excessive force situation, except we're not dealing with a human being, we're dealing with a dog. So the legal analysis side of this is basically that it's not excessive force at all. And it may not feel right to think of it this way, but the actual legal analysis side of this is that this is basically a seizure of property, and that is how you have to proceed as a plaintiff if you're going to file a civil lawsuit for the cops shooting your dog. Now, this is in Colorado, so this is in the 10th Circuit. I haven't researched that specifically in the 10th Circuit, but I have researched this here in the 4th Circuit where I am, because I have been asked this before. There's actually a not West Virginia, but there is not sure where it was from, but it is a 4th Circuit case that discusses this very thing. And in fact, the 4th Circuit looked at this, and they even brought up what the law was or is in all the other circuits. So they said that And this is Ray versus Roan, by the way, 2020 case out of the Fourth Circuit, Ray versus Roan. And the Fourth Circuit said that the consensus of all of our sister circuits leaves no doubt that the law here is clearly established as of at least September of 2017, which was the date of the dog shooting in that case. And that was that, quote, every circuit that's considered this issue has invariably concluded that, quote, the use of deadly force against a household pet is reasonable only if the pet poses an immediate danger and the use of force is unavoidable. So they go through the following circuits, none of which I don't see the 10th Circuit in here, so I'm not sure exactly what the law is in the 10th Circuit. But we know at least the D.C. Circuit, the 6th Circuit, the 2nd Circuit, the 7th Circuit, the 9th Circuit, and the 3rd Circuit, apparently, as well as the 4th Circuit, all have clearly established case law, at least by 2017, that it is a civil rights violation for the police to kill your household pet under certain circumstances. So what circumstances are those? Well, specifically in the Fourth Circuit case, Ray versus Roan, that I'm telling you about, they held that it's privately owned dogs are, under the Constitution, under the Fourth Amendment, they are effects. So the shooting and killing of your dog constitutes a seizure under the Fourth Amendment. There's a few cases on it here in the Fourth Circuit. So you have a private interest in dogs, and the court held that family pets especially are highly significant because dogs have aptly been named and labeled man's best friend. And certainly the bond between a dog owner and his pet can be strong and enduring. The court said that many consider dogs to be their most prized personal possessions, and still others think of dogs solely in terms of an emotional relationship, rather than a property relationship. But that likewise, the government undoubtedly has a strong public interest in protecting citizens and police officers from dogs who are dangerous or who may be a public nuisance. So there's a calculus of good old reasonableness, which must embody an allowance for the fact that police officers are often forced to blah, 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 make split-second judgments in circumstances that are tense, uncertain, and rapidly evolving. And that's the sort of language, the exact language, really, that they use in excessive force cases. But here we're talking about property, but arguably property that could attack somebody, whether a police officer or a private citizen. And we're speaking in general terms here, not about Herkimer. So uncertain, rapidly evolving facts where the amount of force can be greater or lesser depending on what's necessary in a particular situation. So it's a reasonableness analysis. The court would weigh certain competing interests. So basically, it's an objective standard. So it doesn't matter what the police officer subjectively thought. What matters is what the objective theoretical, reasonable police officer knew at the time, what he was confronted with. And body cam footage such as we have here really gives almost all the facts that one would need to make this objective reasonableness analysis. And basically it comes down to whether or not there's some sort of imminent safety threat to a police officer, which would be the same for any private citizen that ends up shooting a dog, technically, though we know that's not how it would turn out. One way I've always liked to look at this, not that I like looking at this, but is it okay for just Joe Dirt walking down the side of the road to have shot a dog because just objectively it was reasonable to think that that dog was going to hurt him? It should be the exact same for a police officer. Is there some sort of imminent threat? Or was the dog on a chain and it was impossible to get to the police officer? Because it would be unreasonable to shoot a dog who is at the end of his leash, but just because you unreasonably believe, well, he might get off the leash or something like that. So it's a reasonableness test. How would that turn out in this case? Well, in other cases, the courts have brought up, the breed of dog, the type of dog, the size of the dog, things like that. Here, I don't know. I certainly had an emotional reaction to watching this video. I didn't like that at all. I would not, absolutely would not have shot that dog. I personally feel that is that is absolutely an unlawful seizure, in my opinion. I can see that others have had different experiences with dogs. Not me. I'm a dog person. That looked like Herkimer came up to him, just wanting to, just excited that somebody was coming to visit. That's how I see that video. Others could see it in different ways. At the end of the day, maybe a jury needs to assess that and make a determination, and that's why they build courthouses, right? So I'm curious to see what you think. Was that reasonable under the circumstances, or was it an unreasonable seizure of personal effects under the Fourth Amendment?